Hello, I'm Joe Guthrie and my wife Susan. We just wanted to come to you and tell you our story of our marriage and our reconciliation of our marriage.
And our story has everything to do with the district church. In 2015, I felt led by God to separate from Joe. We had been married for 30 years, and it wasn't something I wanted to do, but things were spiraling out of control in my life between depression and anxiety and migraines. And I thought I could hold on till death do us part, but God directed me to leave.
At that time of the separation, to begin with, I was upset and didn't know exactly how to take it all. But as I look back on things, we were not communicating together. Things were very rocky, to say the least, and communication was at all-time low of just go into your hiding spot and not talk at all. And it was a real rough time. I understood a lot of the reasons why Susan left. It was a rough time, to say the least.
We remained separated 2015, 16, 17, and in October that year I came to the district church because I'd gotten a postcard in the mail. Thank the Lord. And I was glad to be there, and afterwards I met Travis and realized that it was time to be open about my situation. And he asked me, and I honestly stated it was my intention to reconcile with my husband. And what followed after that was not easy. It was not quick or brief, but it seemed like that lasted 3 years in itself. But what followed was we did reconcile, and that happened in July of this year, 2018. And we have much to be thankful for.
Also, in 2018, I got together with Sue, I believe it was around February sometime, and she had talked to me and said that we needed to get some things worked out, or this was going to be over permanently. And that really hit me between the eyes. And it's about that time I started going to the district church too. And I had gone to other churches and had not gone to a church for about a year at that point. And God was just dealing with my heart. And I know that, I'm a pretty emotional person. As you can tell right now, I'm getting emotional. But God is so merciful, and He's been so merciful to me and patient to work with me and work with my heart. I had to get to a point where I gave it to God and quit trying to do it on my own. And during that time is when that happened. And that's when things started to really happen with our reconciliation. We know people from the district were praying for us, and other friends. And we sought counseling, we got counseling, and then we started to spend time together. And a big part of that was going to church every Sunday to the district. And I was growing closer to her and growing closer to God at that time. And
Also to huddle.
and the huddle group we went to was real important to us on Wednesday nights. So it was just a blessing in so many ways that God is He's just so loving to us, and He's so patient and He's willing to work in our lives and our hearts. Some of the things that I would like to fill in the gaps with what's happened after we got remarried again is that and even before that, a month or so ago, we decided that we would have church every day together, that we'd spend time with God together, and that was something that was not present in the first 30 some years that we were married. We try to remember to put God first in everything we do, to say our prayer, to live our lives to glorify God, and that makes a big difference to us. And I know there's times that sometimes we don't make it to have church for whatever reasons, but we try to at least pray together and make that happen, because it's so important to us. When we wrap our marriage with God, that makes all the difference in the world to me.
So we've seen and experienced the benefits of reconciliation. It's been life-changing and powerful. It's a work of God. And what we see also is changes beginning in the lives of our children. We have 4 children, and each one has distanced themselves from the upbringing we gave them. We brought them up in church. Each one has distanced themselves from that in one way or another. And as we have together cried out to God for them, sought reconciliation with them, sought deeper relationship with them, God is blessing so much. And we know there's a work in progress here. And we see some progress going on. We sense changes. We sense what is coming soon, and pray accordingly. And life is new. It's a new start for us, and I believe that each of our children are marking new changes also. I've gotten to see my dad's heart being touched by this. When we told him of our reconciliation, he's not a believer. When he told him the news, he couldn't help but cry, and sort of quite a bit, and said that was the best news he'd heard in years. And so for his heart to be touched that way could only be a gift from God. So I would say to anyone else going through a kind of a time of need for reconciliation, a time of deep brokenness, for me the answer was to be on my knees. And it's a mystery to me. I don't know if my mind had to tell my heart what to do, or if my heart had to tell my mind what to do. For me, the key was to pray the Lord's Prayer as Jesus taught us.
So if somebody asked me a question about what would you do now, the situation that I was in, I would say that I need to humble myself before the Lord, and also get down and pray, and just give it to Him, because He knows what to do with all our problems, all our situations. He created us. He knew us before we were even born. So He knows what His plan is for our lives, and He wants things for us in a perfect way. We just got to humble ourselves to follow Him and do what He wants us to do. So if you're having issues and problems, go to church. Get your church friends. Go to huddle. Get people to pray for you, and just to gather the army of God around you. And good things will happen, and God will bless. We are Joe and Susan Guthrie. Our story is still being written on our hearts, and your story is still being written also. And God loves you.